Alright, in this video I'm going to explain to you the basics of calculating average. Now, if you're not sure what average is, if you think about when you're in school, if you have a spelling test, for example, and you have lots and lots and lots of tests, the teacher will collect up all the results that you got on each test, and they will create an average. The average is kind of the middle number. All right, sometimes you got better than the average, sometimes in your spelling test you scored lower than the average. So the average is a number that is sort of in the middle of a group of numbers. Okay? However, there are actually several different ways to calculate average. There is the mean, there's the median, mode, and the range. All right? The mean is actually probably one of the more difficult ones. So we'll look at the median and the mode first, and then we'll go on to mean and range. Okay. All right. So the mode. Well, let's start with the mode first. Okay. The mode is really the number in a group of numbers. For example, this group of numbers here. It is the number that shows up more often or most often. Okay, so we'll just write a little reminder here. Most often. Okay, so in my group of numbers here, I'm just going to look to see which number is occurring the most often. And I've got 3, 2, 5, 7, 13, 5, 2, 11, and another 2. So it looks as if I've got, let's see, there's a 2 there, another 2 there, another 2 there. So it looks like 2 is the number that is occurring most often. So in this particular example, the number 2 would be the mode. Now, it is possible to have more than one number being the mode. For example, if I had like 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, something like that, well, then I would have to say that the mode is 3 and 2. Okay? All right, so the median is slightly harder than the mode, but not an awful lot. Basically, you have two steps. The first step is you have to put the numbers in order. In order from smallest to largest. Okay, so if I'm looking at this set of numbers here, I'm going to put them in order from smallest to largest. So I don't have 1, so I have a 2. That's that 2. And then I have to put 2 again. That's that one. And then I put 2 again. And now I go to the next biggest number, which is 3. There's 1, 3. And that's it. So now I go to the next biggest number, which would be 5. So 5 and another 5 there. Okay, and the next biggest number would be 7. So there's my 7. And then the next biggest number would be 11. 11, and the last one is going to be 13. Okay, so I've put my numbers in order from smallest to largest. And what I need to do now, just get my pointer here. What I need to do now is I need to count how many numbers I've got. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I have 9 numbers altogether. So 9 is an odd number. So I just need to pick the number that is exactly in the middle of this entire list of numbers. Okay, so got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that means that this one here, this 5, is my median. Okay, so just write that. So median equals 5. Okay. Now I was lucky in this case that it was a 5 because it was easy to pick the number that was in the middle. Okay. If, for example, it was I didn't have 9 numbers here, maybe I only had 8, then it would be a little bit more difficult, and that's what I'm going to show you how to work out now. Okay, just kind of move that up. Okay, so let's suppose that we have this set of numbers, but instead of 9 numbers we only have 8, so we'll just write out the same numbers again, except we'll leave the last one off. Okay, so I've got altogether I've got 8 numbers. Okay, so now finding the median means that I have to take the number that is in the middle, but we'll see that if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, well, there's 4 there, and there's 4 there, so there is no number that's right in the middle. So what I have to do is I have to add these 2 numbers here together and then divide by 2. So I just say 3 plus 5 equals 8, divided by 2 equals 4. So that would be my median for this new group of 8 numbers. Okay? All right, so that's median and mode. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at mean. All right, so mean is usually what people mean when they talk about average. When people talk about the average of a group of numbers, they usually mean the mean. Okay, so this is how we calculate it. The first step is you need to add up all of the numbers that you're talking about. Well, we're talking about this group of 9 numbers here. Okay, so that means we have to add up all of these numbers. We don't have to put them in order from smallest to biggest. We don't have to do anything else to them right now. We just need to add them up. All right, so add them up, and I won't write it down, I'll just do it out loud. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 5 is 14, plus 5 is 19, plus 7 is 26, plus 11 is 37, 47, it'll be 50. Okay, so that means that in step 1 we add all the numbers, and we got 50. Okay, so step 2, I'm just going to move this up a bit. So step 2 is we now take this 50, and we divide it by the number of numbers we have. Okay, so as I said, we had 9 numbers. Maybe they were spelling test results or whatever. So we take the 50 and we divide it by the number of numbers that we have. All right, and this is obviously going to give us a decimal number. Okay, so 50 divided by 9, 6 nines are 54, so it'll be 5 nines 45, So it'll be 5.55 and so on. Okay? So that is the mean that most people, when they say the average, this is the number that they are usually talking about. This is the calculation that they are usually referring to. So you add up all the numbers and then you just divide by the number of numbers. All right, now this normally is not a problem, but sometimes if you have very large groups of numbers, it can be difficult, and mistakes are easy to make. So you have to really double check your work. Okay. The next thing that I need to show you is the range. Okay. Now, range isn't really an average. It is, and it's really not the average. It's really just a number that indicates or shows the difference between the smallest and the largest numbers. Okay, so for example, the smallest number I had was 2, and it went all the way up to 13. Well, to work out the range, all you really need to do is just take 13 and you subtract 2. That would give you 11, so that is the range. All right. It really is not an average. It's just a statement, and it's just a way of explaining how big the difference is between the smallest and largest numbers in a group of numbers. To work out the range, you don't need to put anything in order. You just need to be able to spot the biggest number and the smallest number. That's it. All right. Well, I hope this video has been helpful. I'm going to give you a few practice questions now, and I hope you'll have some success with them. All right. I'm just going to move this up a little. Oops. Okay. Let's. Okay. Well, part of my stuff is going up and part of it isn't. Okay, so here are your practice questions. 9, 4, 6, 2, 1, 1, 5, 8, 2. Let's pretend those are spelling test results or something like that. I'd like you to calculate the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Okay. For this group of numbers down here, 24, 16, 39, 16, 2, 5, and 11. I want you to calculate the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. All right, and make sure that you share that with a partner and check your work. And it might be a good idea for you to make up some of your own practice questions, maybe even with some decimal numbers. Okay? Good luck.